John, this is the perfect example of what I always kind of tell you. And when everybody was threatening, like, impeach Biden, impeach Mayorkas, impeach the Republicans have subpoena power, et cetera, et cetera. It goes to show you, and even Jim Jordan, I don't know if we're getting into it with Bragg and Jim Jordan, Republicans are stupid. Like, they don't actually know what they're doing, right? Like, they're really ineffective at doing anything. They don't govern, and they don't even know how to play defense or play a spoiler well. Let me recap this. Tennessee lawmakers or Republicans go after three elected officials and expel two of the black ones. So automatically, just a PR nightmare. And then
And I'm going to
you
say
go
something,
through.
and I'm being both serious and funny at the same time. They expelled Gloria Jackson because Gloria Jackson, even though she was a white woman, that's a black name. So you probably thought they were expelling a black woman.
They might have been confused. They might have been confused. You're right. Yeah. You end up expelling the two black men. Have a week of just probably the worst PR that they've ever had. The vice president flies in overnight, screams at you. All the media is going after you. Just to have 2 days, and then they both get reinstated days later. You did all that for quite literally nothing, right? If you look across your country, Republicans are taking hits for Roe, but they got something out of it, right? They overturned Roe, but at least they got something out of it. Barack Obama, right? A lot of people believe that the 2010 massacre of the midterms was because of Obamacare, but at least we got something out of it. And here's, like, you do this performative stunt that you think nobody's going to pay attention to. It's Tennessee. It's the state legislator. Who cares? This is going to make national news. And it does. And then now you have the DOJ looking at you for civil rights violations, all for 2 days of kicking them out. And they come back straight, right? Not only that, but these two are now national figures. I would not be surprised if they're in Chicago in 2024 speaking at the convention, right? And you made them superstars. So not only did this backfire, but it really backfired. And here's the thing, John. Did you hear this tape? There's a tape going around of Tennessee Republicans saying, now they're
Yes, I
calling
heard
us
it.
racist.
I heard it. I heard it.
They, like Justin Jones said, they're in the find out stage. They messed around, they found out, and they're going to find out even harder. So, what a disaster for Republicans across the board.
Yeah, that recording was fantastic. Um, they were basically dressing down some of the members, the Republican members who didn't vote to expel the white woman Gloria Johnson, and they were talking about how they were hung out to dry and everything else, and then quite frankly they were. But what it what it goes to show is they just really, again, remember a few minutes ago I talked about that whole good faith bad faith thing. This is what I'm talking about. These are bad faith arguments. These are to expel someone. And you know what's funny? Do you know who Justin Jones hired as his attorney, don't you?
I don't.
Eric Holder. That's
Oh,
Justin
nice.
Jones's attorney. And so and so and I'm sure Holder's probably working pro bono on that. But yeah, he hired Eric Holder, and Eric Holder sent a letter saying, "You better quit messing with my boy." Essentially, you know, he sent it to Speaker Sexton. He was like, "What's good, son?" And
Yeah.
but and is it really worth it? You realize that there is a whole Apple files are being dropped on the speaker and other members of that Republican legislature. Was it worth it? You got rid of these uppity Negroes, as Justin Jones basically assumed they're calling him, and as a result, Sexton's being put on blast. He doesn't live where he's supposed to live. He's got a alleged blonde paramour. Paramour is a fancy way to say side piece. Uh, um, you know, uh, is it really worth it? Was it worth it? Like you said, at least with Obamacare, we got health care. Even with the Dobbs decision, even though there's blowback, they're getting what they want. What did they get out of this? What was the upside? And more importantly, um, and you and I were talking again last week about the establishment. You know, maybe McConnell or someone is saying, like, look here, you idiots. You're screwing it up for random Republican in Arizona, or random Republican in Florida, or random Republican in Georgia. You're screwing it up for them. What was it worth it? Why did you do this?